Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for April 2020. For this month's monthly reading, we'll be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. So just a reminder that those of you that watch my monthly angel card reading, I also have a weekly angel card reading that most of you are aware of. And also I've started, as of the beginning of this year, a monthly video podcast with psychic medium Kathy Munson. She's a friend of mine from the East Coast, and so every month, once a month, on the 11th of the month, we come out with our video podcast talking about whatever's going on out there in the universe, astrologically, energetically, things of interest, like what's happening with the collective right now on the planet. And also, we are starting to go live on Facebook, maybe once a week, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. We haven't quite figured that out yet, but going live on Facebook, connecting with all of you with your questions, just trying to touch base with you all and assist in your evolution, growth, journey, spiritual expansion, and awareness. So please look for that Facebook Live video, and if you haven't already watched our Empowered Voices monthly video podcast, you can find that on our Facebook page or YouTube channel under the name Empowered Voices. And if you want to email us with any thoughts, questions, or comments, you can reach us at empoweredvoices11@gmail.com. That's the number 11, empoweredvoices11@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and start into and look at what's happening for the month of April. And in fact, let's look at our stones of choice before we even go there. So it's been such a crazy time, as I know you all know, in the world, the collective, what's happening all around the planet with the coronavirus affecting all of us in all of the countries all over the world. So I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of organization, I guess. So a lot of times I like to go through and find special stones for each month to show you for your special stones of choice. And it's just been such a busy time that I just quickly went into my own little jewelry box and I pulled out 3 of my crystal stone bracelets here. And let's look at what your stones of choice for the month of April is. So the first stone of choice is carnelian, okay? So carnelian is a stone that helps to restore vitality. We definitely need that. Restore vitality and motivation. It gives us courage. It helps to promote positive life choices, and it motivates us for success. All of these things I think all of us could use right now. And of course, this relates to the sacral chakra. It's this beautiful orange colored stone, and the sacral chakra is about creative self-expression and passion for life, and just like it says, motivation. Your second stone of choice is tiger eye. You can see that. Now it's a brown stone, but you can see the gold in the tiger eye. So this does relate to both the root chakra as well as the solar plexus chakra. Root chakra, our sense of security, which is all affected right now, right? And our solar plexus chakra, which is about confidence, courage, will, our sense of personal power. Now the tiger eye is great for protection. It's good for good luck. It's helpful with focus, mental clarity, the resolution of challenges, and dispels fear and anxiety. And then your last stone of choice is this beautiful amber bracelet. And amber, of course, it's the solar plexus chakra, and it does have an orange tint to it as well. Amber comes from anywhere to golden yellow to orangey gold. Even there's some green yellow amber. Now this one is more the gold to the orange colored side. And I purposely did pick all the stones based on the solar plexus chakra, which I'll share with you why in a moment here. But this relates to, again, our center of willpower, confidence, and courage, that solar plexus, as well as the sacral chakra area, which is that passion, creative self-expression. The amber is a stone that helps to absorb negative energy. It helps to alleviate stress. It stimulates the intellect, promotes self-confidence. It helps with creative self-expression, as we mentioned, and it encourages decision-making. So again, your stones of choice are the carnelian, the tiger eye, or the amber. So let's start by taking a look at, well, it's nothing really for you to look at, but we're taking a look at the energetic vibration for the month of April. Okay, now we came out of the month of March with an energetic vibration of the number 7. That related to an internalization of our energies, being more self-reflective. And the number 7 was also about situations or circumstances that brought forth this idea of faith and trust, to where our faith and trust was tested. And boy, was that ever true with the coronavirus. Now, it started even before that, but it really started to affect the United States here. And I know some of you that are watching this are from other countries, but it started to really gain its momentum, if you will, in March. So again, there was this trust and faith aspect, and a pulling back our energies, going more into hibernation mode, or as they call it, quarantine mode, being a little bit more alone, not going to work or not going to work as much. Of course, several of you that are in the medical field, or those of you that were, our truck drivers, grocery personnel, there's several jobs that weren't affected in that way, where we, and we still do, where they're still operating, because those are the people that it's much needed. We need those kind of services. So I want to say thank you to all of you that are putting yourselves out there in the health field and in the food field, and any other field too. There's a lot of places that are now delivering food to people, or essentials to people, or what have you. So I want to say a big thank you in support of all of you that are out there, that are assisting humanity in the way that is needed. Now, as we move into April, April now is a vibration of the number 8. How do we get that? Because we're in a 4 universal year, 2020, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0. So in that 4 universal year, we add that vibration to the month in question. The month of April is the 4th month. So we have a number 8, and what is the number 8 about, numerologically speaking? It is about, at a 3rd dimensional level, it's about career path, life path, destiny path, business projects, money, finances. It's about power. It's about authority. So it can bring up some power and control issues within this month of April. And we'll talk about the astrological significance of that in a moment. On a spiritual level, this is about owning our power, taking back our power, empowering ourselves, being our own inner authority, which is one of the reasons, or the reason, why I chose the 3 stones that I did, because they all relate in some way to those lower 2 chakras of the sacral and the solar plexus chakra, where we need that strength, we need that courage, we need that confidence, decision-making capabilities, positive life force and vitality and motivation energies, which were all indicated with those stones. Now, the 8th major arcana in the tarot is actually the Strength card. So I pulled that out of the Syrian Starseed Tarot here to show you. And the Strength card is often, if not always, depicted with usually a lion. This one actually looks like a tiger, okay? But we have tiger, lion energy, where there's I want to say almost a fierceness again. It's like we're taking charge, we're having strength, we're moving through this, we're being motivated. We have to have confidence and courage. We have leadership abilities. We're ready to roar, you know, and take back our power with whatever's happening in the world, whatever happening within humanity on a collective level, because a lot of things, politically, government-wise, institution-wise, organizations of authority, businesses, financial institutions, a lot of these things are being affected. Hopefully, we're moving this into a more positive sense. I do believe that the positive thing coming out of this situation on our planet is a reset, you know, a reset on the patriarchal government financial institution level that is going to, in the long run, bring us to a better place. But it's moving through the immediate, you know, the fears and the challenges and the economic instability that, you know, is happening before we get there. So in this month of April, we need to move into a place of strength, courage, confidence, take charge. Have confidence in yourself. You know, this is where we're having confidence in ourselves and we're taking back our power. Again, there's a sense of power here that's indicated. There's a sense of motivation. This is motivating us to make some changes in our lives, perhaps. Motivating us to move forward in a more confident way after the initial shock in March, and maybe even previous for some countries in February, that occurred with the coronavirus and what's happening as a result of that. So there's a lot of fire energy here, if you see that. Usually to me, you know, I think of the Strength card, the lion. Then I think of Leo the lion, and of course that's a fire sign. So we have a lot of fire energy here. Again, what is fire? Fire is energy, action, forward movement. Again, confidence, motivation, leadership, make things happen. So this is really you, again, stepping into that action pattern, stepping into your power. Again, the number 8 deals with career, finances, money, life path, destiny path, who you are out in the world. And this is where there's going to be a lot of changes as a result of what's happening on the planet. So, you know, allow this energy to redirect you in the way that it's supposed to for your own soul's journey, for your soul's evolution and growth, to transition into a sense of your power and confidence to, you know, own your own authority and make something happen. Take action in your life to make the most positive changes and have the most positive outlook that you possibly can. Okay, so that's a little bit about the energy from a numerological standpoint. Let's talk about the astrological highlights of the month. There's other things going on earlier in the month, but I feel like I want to start with the thing that's the most important. And that's going to be about Pluto, planet of power, control, transformation, regeneration, death and rebirth, big changes, transmuting lower vibrational energies, is slowing down to move to retrograde motion. Now, Pluto is such a slow-moving planet that when it goes retrograde, it's retrograde basically for 6 months out of the year and direct for about 6 months out of the year. It's usually about half and half here. But when it slows down to turn retrograde, and then also when it slows down later to turn back to direct motion, it really intensifies and brings up the energies that are associated with Pluto and what that's all about. And this is where, again, we have the sense of power. Pluto, you can think of Pluto like the phoenix, because Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio in the zodiac, and the sign of Scorpio in the zodiac has the scorpion, the eagle, and then the phoenix. There's 3 levels to Scorpio, with the phoenix, of course, being the highest energy, okay, where we're rising from the ashes, transformed anew. And Pluto is about transforming ourselves, transformation, empowering ourselves, taking back our power, and hence this is where power and control issues can come up. Now, again, there's probably happening here power and control issues on a collective level on the planet with people and institutions of authority or power. So I'll just, on a collective level, we're looking at that. But on a personal level, we're also looking at us taking back our power, okay? Whether it be within a job, within a family situation, with our finances, with a relationship, and taking back our power potentially and possibly within some of those greater institutions of power and authority. So Pluto actually and technically goes retrograde on the 25th of April, but because it's such a slow-moving planet, it's basically at a stationary degree of 25 degrees all month of April, okay? So as it's standing still and as it gets closer and closer to the 25th of April, things are starting to rise. And I think of Pluto too, ruler of the 8th house and things that are unseen, the shadow side of things. It rules, the darker side of things. And it rules the underworld, mythologically speaking. So there's this welling up of this energy. I often think of Pluto like a volcano. It's like things build and build and build until the volcano essentially then explodes with all the magma. And so you could see some of that Plutonian kind of explosion of energies happening. Now this can be energies of transformation, death and rebirth. It can be power and control issues, big transformation types of changes that happen with Pluto. So it can be any and all of the above. Now, before we get there, some of the other astrological highlights. On April 3rd, Venus, planet of love, relationships, partnerships, money, finances, she rules all of those things, as well as the divine feminine energy. On the 3rd of April, she's moving into the logical, intellectual sign of Gemini. And usually she spends a little over a month in a sign, but she's going to be in Gemini from April 3rd all the way till August 7th, because she's going to go into a retrograde motion in May, and that's why she's in that sign for an extra long time. So what is Gemini? Gemini is the sign of the twins. It's a mutable, vacillation, going back and forth, again, being overly logical, analytical with things. There's about duality here with the sign of Gemini, or doing two or more things at once. So when it comes to relationships, we might vacillate a little bit. Now this isn't just romantic relationships, but also business types of partnerships, etc. There can be vacillation energies, or things that are not, I don't know if I want to say not clear, or we're trying to move in one direction, but then they redirect and they move in another direction. So there's like a lack of groundedness here with that Gemini energy. There could be more than two partnerships going on at the same time, again, whether business, romantic, or otherwise. There's a duality here, or more than one thing happening at the same time. With money and finances, perhaps we're working on more than one job or project or situation that is potentially bringing in income. In other words, there might be income coming in from two or more sources. And that might be, too, a result of what's happening with the coronavirus, and some of you all out there may have had reduced hours or lost your job altogether, or maybe the job has to take on a different form, meaning a lot of you are working from home. So again, there's this vacillation, uncertainty, things that are kind of changing with that Gemini energy, and possibly supplementing the income in more than one way. And again, with Venus going retrograde, we'll talk about this more in May when she actually goes retrograde, but there's going to be a need to kind of revisit, kind of reanalyze the situations that are involved with the Venus energy over the course of these next few months. So the next highlight is on the 4th of April, Jupiter comes together with Pluto. Remember, Pluto's slowing down, it's starting to station, it's starting to intensify. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Things get bigger with Jupiter, okay? Jupiter also rules our belief systems. So when Jupiter comes together with Pluto, and of course this has been building as well, and this is only the first time that Jupiter is going to connect with Pluto. Jupiter is going to connect with Pluto 3 times this year. So we have this whole energy of what are our beliefs about power? What are our beliefs about our own power, about people in power, about institutions in power? So we're kind of really asked to take a look at what our belief systems are regarding power in general. Jupiter also is expanding that transformation, death, and rebirth effect of Pluto. So there could be something going on around this time in the beginning of the month, and I really want to say all month because Pluto is highlighted with several transits this month. There's a lot going on here within regards to power issues, power institutions, our own power, etc. Okay, so there's a need to focus on how do I empower myself? How do I empower myself and empower my life to the best of my ability? Mars connects in a challenging way with Uranus on the 7th. Could be some sudden unexpected thing that happens here with Mars in Aquarius, which is the natural sign that Uranus rules, and then Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is unexpected changes, and Mars is an activator. So there's definitely something happening here between the 4th and the 7th with Jupiter coming together with Pluto, Mars challenging by square aspect Uranus. Then we have a full moon also on the 7th. So right after that Mars-Uranus square, we have a full moon at 18 degrees of Libra, highlighting relationships and partnerships and balance and harmony and equality. So I would say there's an upset to that harmony. There's something rocking the boat here. You know, Libra wants to have peace and stability and equality, but Mars square Uranus on the same day right before that full moon is saying, boom, like we're bringing in some changes suddenly and unexpectedly into your life. On the 10th, Mercury moves into Aries. Mercury is the planet that rules our thoughts, our ideas, our communications. Wow, remember it's been in Pisces for quite a while because it went retrograde in Pisces way back in February. We had some real difficult, confusing, lack of clarity, ungrounded energies, not really being able to have a clear direction because Mercury was in Pisces for so long with it being retrograde. So now it's finally moving out of Pisces and moving into the sign of Aries to hopefully jumpstart new thoughts, bring us in some new beginnings on a mental level, at least it starts on the mental level, and bring us more active, enthusiastic communications with others, where we can initiate new plans and new ideas to move forward in a positive way. Now, I also want to make mention, I said Pluto was highlighted, and we talked about Jupiter connecting with Pluto. Also throughout the month, the Sun, which rules our identity and our creative self-expression, our personality, the Sun is challenging Pluto. The Sun is then challenging Jupiter. Mercury is challenging Pluto. Mercury is challenging Jupiter. And both the Sun and Mercury are also challenging Saturn, which is the ruler of karmic lessons and restriction and limitation, but also the ruler of restructuring things. But there's a lot of challenging aspects here. And again, a lot of them are associated with Pluto. So again, this is throughout the month bringing up some situations and circumstances where we're being asked to take back our power in some way, shape, or form. We also have a new moon on the 22nd, and the new moon is going to be at 3 degrees of Taurus. This is very close to Uranus. Okay, Uranus is in Taurus. I didn't write down the degree, but I believe it's about 5 degrees. So the new moon happening on the 22nd is only 2 degrees away from Uranus, the harbinger of change, redirection, freedom, independence, and the expecting the unexpected energies that is associated also with that planet. The new moon is also in a challenging aspect to Saturn. So with Saturn and Uranus in the mix with that new moon, that is also going to be a potent time period. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, whereas the full moons are about completion and endings. But even right before a new moon happens, we're going through a deep kind of inner personal healing process. And with Saturn, the karmic planet there, planet of karmic challenges or past life lessons, there could be definitely some things regarding money and personal resources that we are trying to heal, because Taurus, where that new moon is, rules personal resources, money, and finances. So those are the highlights astrologically within the month of April. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. Now, I usually try to pull 3 cards. The first card came out as 2, so we have 2 cards as a first card. Let's turn over that first card. And we have the Adept of Flames. Now, in this particular Syrian Starseed Tarot deck, the Adept is like the Knight, okay? So we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. The Adept is the Knight. So this is it's a younger energy, but not as young as the Page. So there's a little bit of what they call an immaturity with the Knight. He's just starting to learn how to be a Knight, right? And so with that less than mature energy happening, and with this being the flames, which is fire, which is wands or rods, we're talking about creativity. We're talking about blazing a new trail. The Adept of Flames is like the knight on the horse that's riding wildly and furiously through the field, and really like excited, adventurous, enthusiastic, but yet also not being focused, not being clear, not being grounded. So this is the energy of the Adept of Flames, is he's ready to run forward into new creative directions, but there may not be a total focus or clarity about where he's galloping to. Now we see a gold candle behind him. We see a gold, what looks like a medallion at his solar plexus chakra, or nearing there, because the heart chakra to me would be about here. So we're looking down here under his breastbone at that solar plexus chakra. So again, the Adept, the Knight, especially the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Flames, has confidence, has courage, has motivation, wants to move forward, and moves forward wildly. Again, there's a lot going on here with the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Flames. There's a lot of creative self-expression happening here, creative movement that's happening here, with a sense of needing confidence and courage. And he's got a purple cloak on, and that purple cloak is over his head. So there is a spiritual connection here. He's connecting his spiritual awareness, that crown chakra purple there. He's connecting that spiritual higher awareness with his willpower, with his confidence, with his sense of power and empowerment. And that's what it's all about for this month of April, right? So let's see what the second card is that came out with this card, so we can get more information. Wow, okay, so we have another Adept, but this is the Adept of Crystals. Now this is like the Knight of Earth, or the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knight of Discs in the traditional tarot. Now this brings in earthly matters like career, finances, money, projects that we're working on, things to do with our life path and our destiny path. The tangible aspects of life is what this Knight is all about. So couple this with this, and we definitely have this movement forward, but there's not a maturity yet. There's not a completion to it yet. We're just just in the beginning stages of trying to figure out what this sense of willpower, confidence, empowerment, and within career path, life path, destiny path, money, finances, projects we're working on, again, things that are of a tangible nature in our lives. It's like we're past the birthing part, or the very beginning, because we're past the Page, but we're not yet to the Queen or the King. So we're still kind of in, not quite the infancy, but in the teenage years, so to speak. We're still kind of maturing through what this is all about. And again, with some of the changes going on as a result of what's happening all around the world, we don't have yet the maturity to know how things are going to end up, or even where we're all going as a collective and as a society. We know that changes are happening. We know that we're trying to empower ourselves and use creativity and confidence to move forward. We know that we're, in a sense, restructuring, in some way, money, finances, jobs, careers, etc. And there's a kingdom here in the background. I'm trying to see what this Adept is holding on to. It looks like it might be some sort of a crystal. Well, it is a crystal because it's the Adept of Crystals. So he's holding on to a crystal here, and crystals are magical stones from the earth, right? I mean, crystals come from the earth, and they have different qualities to them. They have different energies that are associated with the crystals. So this might be about working with crystals in some way, shape, or form. Things like the amber or the citrine that are great for prosperity and abundance. Maybe you want to think about working with those crystals, or again, with the tiger eye, the carnelian, other types of crystals that have different meanings for motivation or success or helping you to move through change or make decisions. Might be something where you want to take a look at, your box of crystals and add to it or start to work with them a little bit more. We have this beautiful castle in the background, so we're working towards security and stability. We're working towards manifesting this kind of beautiful, solid foundation that's behind this adept, right? And this is, to me, a sign of, prosperity and abundance, a sign of having that security that you're looking for. But again, we're not in the mature stages yet, so it's going to be probably past April until we have some clarity, some groundedness, some abilities to know where this energy is going as far as in maturing. Let's take a look at the second card, really the third card, but the next card that came out, Major Arcana number 7. I had to look there because I couldn't see. So Major Arcana number 7 is the Chariot. It seems like in a previous weekly reading or somewhere, I remember the Chariot coming out, or maybe it was in mine and Kathy Munson's Facebook Live episode that we did, the first one, or maybe it was our Empowered Voices podcast, I don't remember. But I remember the Chariot not too long ago coming out. And the Chariot, as you can see, a horse-drawn buggy of sorts, structure, with, in this case, we have some sort of Indian god or goddess that is within the carriage or the chariot, being pulled by horses. Now, traditionally, it's being pulled by 2 horses, a black horse and a white horse. Black horse represents our ego or sometimes our shadow side, and the white horse indicates our higher soul self or the more spiritual side of ourselves. Usually those horses are pulling in opposite directions, just like you can see these 5 horses here. 2 horses are looking and pointing one way. These 2 horses are looking or pointing in an opposite direction. The horse in the middle, the 5th horse, is pointing straight ahead. Now again, in the traditional tarot, there's only 2 horses. They're moving in different directions, meaning the chariot has not gotten focused energy enough to move forward. Just sort of like the adepts here that are talking about a lack of maturity yet that's happening. Things are not mature yet. With this card, we're wanting to rein in the energies, rein in the fear energies, the anxiety energies, the lack of trust and faith energies, the shadow side energies, the disempowerment energies. We want to rein it in with the empowerment energies, the confidence, the courage, the self-assuredness, the leadership ability, the ability to move forward in a focused direction, like this middle horse, so that we can finally move forward. So there's going to be movement forward soon. We just have to, again, rein in the energies, rein in the shadow side versus the light side, if you will, in order for this movement to happen. Okay, and then let's look at the last card that came up here. Okay, we have another Major Arcana, Major Arcana 15, and it's the Shadow, okay? In the traditional tarot, this is the Devil card, and this card relates to our fears, our anxieties, our shadow side of our ego, power and control issues, those things, again, that kind of crop up when we are challenged in life, and especially when our sense of security, stability is challenged, or when our knowingness of the known in our life is challenged. In other words, what we know to be real, like our families, our jobs, our loved ones, our finances, that come in every month, our paycheck, those things that we are that we have in our lives that bring us stability and security in some way, is now being tested. And so a lot of times when our stability and security is tested, when things that are happening on the planet happen, it brings out the challenges within people. It brings out our fears, it brings out our anxieties, it brings out our frustrations, it brings out the lack of trust and faith that we might feel about life or within ourselves, or about our futures and our future security. So this is bringing up a lot of shadow wounds for people, okay? But no, if you look really hard, there's a little bit of light here within the shadows, okay? There is a lot of shadow, but there's a little bit of light here that's trying to come through the shadows. And, I think about the spider web here. And the spider web, I often deal, some of you know, with animal totems. I love animal totem energy. And the spider is the priestess as far as the tarot goes. And that priestess card is about the feminine power, right? About our feminine power, our psychic abilities, our strength, our confidence within that feminine power is what the priestess card is all about, which relates to the spider, which relates to the spider web. So here, find your inner priestess energy, find your inner strength and intuition to move through and find the light within the shadow, and to move through your own fears and shadows, and bring kind of this healing, bring this healing into your lives, because we need all of you to be as balanced and centered as you possibly can for the whole of collective of humanity. We're all picking up on everybody else's energies, even if we don't know it or if we do know it. I feel like we're all empathic to some degree. Some of us may be more empathic than others, but the fears and the anxieties of what's happening on a collective level all across the world is being felt. And so sometimes it's not just our own shadow stuff, but it's other people's that we're feeling as well. So if you're feeling exponential amount, know that you may just be picking up also, not just on your own stuff, but other people's stuff as well, other people's fears as well. So the best thing we can do is to enlighten ourselves, to empower ourselves in meditation, and maybe doing this several times a day. Maybe some of you have a good meditation practice, but maybe you need to do it a little bit more often during these times. Some of you that haven't had a meditation practice, if you're now at home more, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, you can start out by quieting the mind and doing some sort of meditation practice, sitting outside in your yard, in your garden if you have one, and letting the sun shine down upon you, and letting the light, whether it be the real light from the sun or metaphoric light, the golden white light of universal energies, just let it shower down upon you. Visualize it all around you and enlighten those aspects of the shadow side that are happening within you, around you, and in the collective. Allow it to spread out all over the planet if you can, to bring healing to all. So let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. So let's give this a shuffle. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute so as not to see what's on the bottom in the camera there. So the first stone of choice was the carnelian. So for those of you that chose the carnelian, when I opened my eyes, this is where my eyes went to. Okay, so we have number 9, and it says broken heart. Now, the number 9 in numerology is about selfless service to humanity. It's about creative and artistic energies. It's about philanthropic energies, giving of yourself, and not maybe having good boundaries. So because this is broken heart, I want to say that maybe you haven't had good boundaries in the past with people, and you've given and you've been of service and you've done for without paying attention to your own needs and wants. And so right now you might be feeling a little bit of a heart chakra wound or a broken heart. And maybe this is in a personal relationship of some sort. Maybe this is a feeling of what's happening with the planet and humanity as a whole. And you're feeling this broken heart energy. This is saying to me that you need to focus on the heart chakra and focus on healing your own heart chakra. Pay attention to and surround that heart chakra in the emerald green light of Archangel Raphael. Bring healing to that heart chakra right now, okay? Bring healing to old relationships and old relationship wounds. Offer forgiveness. Release all judgment, whether that be judgment and forgiveness towards yourself, or judgment and forgiveness towards other people, or the planet as a whole, or humanity. It's like bring that sense of forgiveness and unconditional love and compassion and healing to all of the world, but to yourself first. Bring it to yourself, because I feel like you need some healing right now. You need to pay attention to kind of healing this aspect. Again, whatever that might be about, whether it's, again, a personal family or significant other matter, or whether this is more on a collective level. Okay? You know, I had to ask for a second. I feel like they want me to pull like a clarification card for those of you that got the broken heart. Okay? More information, clarification, you know, something else that you can also think about, dwell on, that can help you to move through that in some way, or heal in some way. So we are looking for an addendum card here, and this one caught my eye, and it's number 34. So again, this is a secondary card for the broken heart people. Door to personal healing and happiness, okay? So it does, to me, appear like you need to focus on healing your own heart chakra first, bringing healing to yourself. I've been, in the mornings lately, I've been doing Reiki on myself, heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, wherever I feel that I'm guided, that my body, physical body or emotional or mental body needs that healing. So, you know, bring that healing to you. If you don't know Reiki or can do, you know, self-healing, I mean, we can all do self-healing by just exuding love to a certain area towards ourselves, or meditate, again, surrounding ourselves in golden white light of unconditional love, or surrounding yourself with Archangel Raphael's emerald green healing light. But bring that healing first, because it says door to personal healing. And then what follows is the happiness. You'll be able to walk through this door, and you can see that on the other side, there's this beautiful, lush waterfall, there's a dove, there's a rainbow, there's lotuses or flowers, a little path, sunshine. I mean, happiness is coming, okay? Whatever you're going through now is not going to stay there. It's not going to stay there forever. You're going to be able to move through that with personal healing and care and self-care. And soon enough, you'll be able to walk through these doors into a state of more happiness, more prosperity, more abundance, more success, more joy of life, basically. So, you know, hang in there, okay? And then for those of you that chose the Tiger Eye, let's give this a shuffle, Tiger Eye people. This one's calling my attention, Tiger Eye. Ooh, door to romance. Okay, door to romance, number 33, master number 33, Christ consciousness energy, the healer, the teacher. The number 3 is about expansion too. Okay, so master number 33, expansion with creative self-expression, expansion through words, thoughts, ideas, being creative. So I want to say with this door to romance that there's some sort of romance coming up, whether or not you're already in a relationship or whether or not you're looking or desiring a relationship, that is happening for you. Okay, so again, those that don't have a relationship, one is coming. Those that are in a relationship, perhaps there's a rekindling of the romance, a rekindling of the love here. I want to say to put out or use your creativity in some way, because again, the number 3 is about creative self-expression or creativity. Use your creativity as far as how that can happen. How can you creatively bring in the romance? You can set up a relationship corner of your home or your bedroom with beautiful red roses, or you know, statues or things that remind you of romance. Or you could make a vision board that kind of calls in the qualities of the romantic partner that you want. So be creative with how you're going to call in this romance, okay? Also, visualization. The number 3 is great about visualization, imagining. So imagine and visualize what the person looks like, what the romance feels like, what activities you desire to do with a significant other. How you want that love to feel. Really kind of feel into that, not just visualizing it, but feeling into it as well. Because this is going to help manifest again stronger romance. But know that that is coming. And I feel like for some of you, you need to free your heart of some old relationship wound or old relationship pattern, or just an old relationship by pulling cords to people from the past that you still might have a cord connection to. There's something about freeing yourself from an energy that's associated with old love or a pattern that needs to happen here for this new door to romance, for this new door to the romance and new love to open for you, okay? And then for those of you that chose the amber people, okay, this one's sticking up, amber people. Wow, love it, blossoming abundance, okay. What else can I say about that? It's pretty self-explanatory. Abundance, prosperity, expanded blessings. Things are just starting to bloom, okay? So this is about a process. Again, remember the adepts earlier is about a process towards maturity of something. When something's starting to blossom, it's not yet at its full mature expression, such as a flower. It's just starting to blossom, or like the trees, when we have little buds on the trees, they're just starting to blossom and flower, but it's not to its full extent of maturity yet. So there's something that's starting, there's something that's beginning, and it is number 3 again. So we have another number 3 here. Number 3 is about expansion, growth, new birth, prosperity, and abundance. And we have full flowers in bloom. We have, I'm not quite sure, this looks like a reflection of a water or a pond here. That's what I would say that is. And water is the emotions. And so, again, put your feelings and emotions towards creating in your mind and visualizing in your mind how it is that you want these blessings to look. Okay, it doesn't have to be so specific because you don't want to limit the universe on how it's going to bring you the blessings, but you want to visualize or see or sense how you feel. You feel enthusiastic, you feel joyful, you feel thankful, you feel grateful. Perhaps you see, gold sparkles of light showering down from the sky all around you. That's how I like to do my meditation, because then those gold sparkles of light that I visualize showering down upon me like raindrops can be anything that the universe wants to give me. Those gold sparkles of light can be money, or it can be new friendships, or it can be success in business, or whatever it might be. So that way you're not limiting what that abundance is all about. But this is a very positive message, a very good card for you all. So thank you all for tuning in to the monthly angel card reading for April. I send you all lots of love and light at this time. If you need to, reach out to me. I'm still doing my personal services, readings, healing sessions. And again, the free daily posts that I put on Facebook, or the free weekly and monthly readings that I give, and now the video podcast, Empowered Voices with Kathy Munson, and our Facebook Live episodes. Those are all free things that I gift to you, but I do still have services and can help you on your own specific personal journey. Just check out my website, and I look forward to seeing you next month as well as next week for the weekly reading. Sending you all many angel blessings, everyone.